if you're not happy with the length of your main sheet on your boat, or if you're looking at getting a new main sheet for your boat, it's important to make sure that it's the right length. Let's have a look to see how we can do that. Yes, hello, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV, and yes, hello, we are going to be taking a look at how do you make sure that your main sheet is the right length. It's already written, I've put some charts up already on Patreon, which is available for everybody to see. Check it out in the description below, of the rope lengths that you should be looking at for either a Hobie 16 or similar, or a Hobie Tiger or similar. And on those charts, the main sheet length would be for a Hobie 16 10 meters, and for a Hobie Tiger 14 meters. For the Hobie Tiger, that would also include the FX1, the Pacific, any other type of F18, but it does depend on how much purchase you've got. So the first factor that will influence the length of your main sheet is the amount of purchase. So on this Hobie 16, this is what we'd call a 6-to-1 purchase system. The rope goes around 6 pulleys before coming out in one place. That's the 1, that's the 6. If we add more purchases to our system, so if for example we had an 8-to-1, then the rope to move the same distance would have to go around another 2 times, which would mean we'd need longer rope. On the other hand, if we had a 4-to-1 purchase system, then it would go around 2 less blocks, meaning the rope wouldn't have to be as long. Another thing that could influence how long the main sheet needs to be is how tight do you pull it when it's tight. On this boat, let's take a look. When we pull it tight, the blocks are coming right together. So this is going to be a bit shorter than if when your main sheet is tight, just releasing there, if the blocks came together like this much, for example, which would be a lot more likely on a great many types of boat because the boom doesn't come as low down. So having said that, how do we actually gauge how long the rope needs to be? Well, let's consider that at times you might be out on the trapeze at the back of the boat with the main sheet and the traveller as far out as possible. Okay, so I've recruited Demos for this next section. So this is possibly the furthest you would ever want your main sheet and traveller out. This is a very long way out. We've got a knot in the traveller line to stop it from going any further out, but with it this far out, the furthest across the boat that the main sheet comes is here. So if you are likely to be sailing with all that far out and you want to be on the trapeze, it's going to need to be a bit longer. So let's see. So I'm moving out onto the trapeze. So this is the maximum that I can sheet out on this 16 and trapeze. Is that enough? For me, it is. This is a 10 meter main sheet, but if you want it longer, how can you gauge how much longer you want it? Well, let's see how we can do that. So on our boats here, the traveller line is always using the end of the main sheet, but what we could do is take that out if your main sheet is too short, and we're going to fit a new traveller line. I'm just using a bit of skanky old rope here, but you could use something much nicer, I'm sure. And threading that through, and I'm going to join the 2 ropes where we'd want the maximum point to be there. And for now, how are we going to do that? We'll just do a lazy kite surfer's knot, something like this, just for now, just to get an idea of the length. So now let's see how much main sheet we can let out and trapeze. So now we can fully trapeze and have the main sheet and the traveller a very long way out. So by adding to our 10 meters an additional traveller rope, that means you're never going to have any problems sheeting out there. But having said that, what you don't want on your boat is too much rope. What that's going to do is go in the water all the time. It's going to create a lot of mess on your trampoline. So from adding a separate traveller line, what we can then do is start to look at reducing the length until it really is perfect for how you like it. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, so what we'll do is, if it is too long, we'll just pull a bit of traveller rope through. We'll tie a new stopper knot in there. And then if you want, or if you've got a lot hanging down here, we could then tuck that perhaps in with the trampoline lacing, and we could then sail with it like that for a bit, see how that is. And then if it's still too long, then we could just do that again, pulling it back a bit, put a new knot in, until we find exactly where we want it. And then once we know for sure that's how long we want it, then we could take it back to the beach, cut off the excess, and then there we are, we know we've got it the perfect length. Okay, so all that being said, I think for a lot of people, 10 meters, if you are going to be helming on the trapeze and sailing in a strong wind on a 16 with a 6-to-1 main sheet system, 10 meters might feel a little bit short. So my recommendation would be, for the price of another 4 meters of rope, get 14 meters if you are replacing your main sheet, and then you can find out the length to your personal taste using the method that we've just looked at. And then that means you know that your main sheet is perfect for you. But do remember the old saying, measure twice, cut once. Don't cut the rope until you're absolutely positive that it is the right length. And then who knows, you might end up with 2 meters of main sheet rope to do something else with. Okay, I hope that has been useful and informative and perhaps even interesting, and I hope that's going to help you to choose the length of your main sheet. But as I said, you can check all your rope lengths on my Patreon page. The link is below. You don't have to have signed up to Patreon to look at those links, so do feel free to head over there. Thanks very much. I've been Joe. This has been Joyrider TV. There will be more coming up soon. This has been Demos.
Hello.
One of our new members of the team this year. We'll see you soon with some more. Thank you.